Hi, my name is Jonathan Safford and I'm with the New York Times. Today I'm interviewing Peter Slack, director, producer, and filmmaker for Tom Hummel, Pilot. Peter, how did you get the idea for this film?
When I had the screenplay for about 6 weeks, and it was going to be done as a feature, and then Behind Enemy Lines came out, the screenplay for that. So we decided not to do Pilot because Pilot was the first draft of Behind Enemy Lines, and that of course was with Owen Wilson and Gene Hackman. So we turned Pilot into more of a documentary style, just one pilot. Took out the war scenes and just made it about one person in a seaplane that lands the seaplane in the water, and then that just takes off again. So that was how we came up with the idea for that.
Where'd you find that hunky young pilot?
We casted virtually an unknown. I had seen a nomination special that was done, and I'd seen this guy in the special, and he was, he looked really natural, and he had actually had a seaplane, so we decided to put him in this documentary. And we named the documentary Tom Hummel, Pilot.
The film has a kind of Top Gun feel to it. Did you do any research with the Air Force?
He likes to go fast. He likes fast cars, fast women, fast planes, and that's just the way he lives his life. He's almost like the Tom Cruise of the main line.
What exactly was he talking to the tower about?
With the towers, we basically just talked to the towers, made sure that they knew that we were incoming traffic, and mostly what the towers do is they tell you if there's any other planes, recreational planes, in the vicinity, because now right there, that's a helicopter. The reason I can tell is that, yeah, that's a helicopter. I guess being on planes and being in helicopters, like I've been in Blackhawks, I've been in other helicopters, plus I've been in seaplanes and 747s and stuff like that. I think I have a trained ear for that kind of stuff. So when I see something or when I hear something like that, I'll know instantly what it is, if it's a plane or a helicopter. And I think having that experience working with the military, the armed forces, and also working with some recreational pilots, I had that experience to do that. We were in constant contact with Northeast Tower. And the reason Tom's in such contact with them is he's flying VFR, which is visual, as opposed to IFR, which is instruments.
Interesting. During this film, there were a lot of aerial shots. Did you use any models or computer animation?
No, it's funny. A lot of films today have a lot of SGI in it and a lot of modeling and 3D animation and a lot of things. They take it into the computer before they actually print it to the film. This was not done with any of that at all. I mean, this was not a Lord of the Rings. This was not a Star Wars Episode 2. Everything that you're seeing is actual video footage of what went on. It's not, once again, we didn't have much of a budget for the film, so if we could have done that, we might have made a couple of models or taken it to Industrial Light and Magic or Lucas Filmworks and had some of that stuff done.
Did you ever consider using any stuntmen or body doubles for this film?
Most of the action sequences for the film were done by Tom. He was flying, and most of those shots that you see, that was him in the plane, or that was his father. None of that stuff had any stunt work involved in it, and that was him in the plane when you're watching it.
Just tell me, what does thumbs up mean?
The importance of a thumbs up, yeah, you notice that with Tom, when he'll safely land on the water, he'll give you a thumbs up. I think you'll see that in the film, and that, I think, not only lets me know, being in the passenger seat, but will let the audience know that everything's okay, I've landed safely on the water, I'm here, and it's a thumbs up. And it certainly made me feel better. And I think in part of the film, that's where the audiences are on the edge of their seats. That's where they're kind of worried, and that's where they're kind of like, what's the deal? Have we landed? Have we not? And that's what I think that's when Tommy gives the reassuring thumbs up, and that's when they know everything's okay, and it's time to move on to the next scene.
How safe is Tom? Talk about his checklist.
Tom does not screw around at all. When he's up there, he's a complete goofball when he's not in the plane. But when you sit in the cockpit on the runway getting ready to go, there's a list of things that he goes through and he does checks the richness of the fuel and the wings and looks out both sides. And I was amazed when I first got into the plane with him the first time how much he checks to see that everything on the plane's working before you actually take off.
Do you think there'll be any sequels?
We're still keeping our fingers crossed about the movie and seeing what it can do. We're not releasing it to too many screens, so that's going to hurt production. I just want to thank everybody out there for watching the film and watching it. Thank you.
And thank you for being here. I'm Jonathan Safford with the New York Times.